Yo, ladies and gentlemen, it's Eagle Talks Football. We're back again with another video. Hope you guys are doing well. Please do hit that like button, hit that subscribe button if you guys are new. This is Arsenal News Today, episode 5 of the transfer window. And what I'm going to be doing, I'm going to give you guys daily updates or as often as I can whenever I get news about Arsenal. Now, today is a big one. We got 22 players have left Arsenal as Arsenal have done a clear out throughout the men's first team, the academy team, and of course, even the women's team. Elneny and Cedric being the two major names that have left. We also have a situation where Emile Smith Rowe, Nketiah, Ramsdale, and Kieran Tierney, plus more, are all for sale. This is going to be a major clear out. We're going to get into that. Plus, David Raya, Fabrizio Romano has given us an update on David Raya. Stay tuned for that. We got a major update on Victor Osimhen and what's going on with his price. Could Arsenal potentially be priced out of a mood? Saudi Arabia is also on the cards for him. Crazy to think that. Napoli apparently are interested in Emile Smith Rowe and Tomiyasu. I don't know where that came from, but we're going to look into that. Youssouf Fofana to Arsenal. There's just so much to talk about. But before we go any further, I got a guest today. Saad, how you doing, bro? You're on mute.
Yeah, sorry, mate. My team was bugging, man. Yeah, all good, man. All good, you know. So much news to cover. That's the best time for all of us, man. You know what I mean? When there's news to cover, it's brilliant, man. This transfer window started out lively for Arsenal, which is, you know, a bit different than the way we usually do things. So listen, I'm happy. I'm seeing movement in my club, and you know what I mean. We're going down the right route, man. Right route, bro. But yeah, no, listen. Big up for having me, man. Big up for having me, man.
There you go. Now, before we get any further into the Arsenal news, did you see there was 2 videos making the circulations? Did you see the video of Gio Balogun basically speaking about Arteta and Unai Emery?
I haven't, no.
Basically, the man was doing a video and he was stating there's 2 videos going around and circulating right now. So before we get into all of the transfer news, we'll just quickly look at some of these videos. So this one here from DR Sport, where basically Balogun was speaking about how he got Mikel Arteta and Unai Emery connected. Remember, Unai Emery left. I kind of felt like he didn't want the club to do well after he left. But it seems like Mikel Arteta and him had a really long conversation.
When Unai left Arsenal and Mikel Arteta was taking over, I was having lunch with Unai, and I said, "Why don't you call Mikel and you share things of how it went for you?" And well, it doesn't get to people don't tend to do it because you want to make your own mind about what's there. But there's a lot of privileged information you can share. So I went like, Mikel, Unai, boom, and they were talking for an hour, and I think Mikel was going to get Unai's house. Eventually, it didn't happen.
Very interesting. And then there was also another video. If you guys haven't seen, Mikel Arteta has been on CNN. Now,
I think it's been a really exciting season, right up to the last minutes of the last day, especially when we are fighting for the Premier League. So, yeah, I think we should be very proud of what we've done throughout the season, both in European competition and the Premier League. But as well, that feeling of being disappointed and not having the Premier League in our hands it is painful still.
How personally do you take that in terms of missing out?
I'm a winner, and
you know that triggered a lot of people when he said that, right?
Yeah, listen. The thing is, yeah, people are gonna get pissed off, man. People are gonna get pissed off by the smallest thing, bro. I can already see, bro. People are gonna get vexed by that small little thing. I'm a winner. It's all good.
And it takes me a while when I don't reach the dreams, and I think we have built so much excitement as well and belief around our fans and around the players, around the club, that we really wanted to deliver that moment to them. I think they deserve it. I think the team deserve it. But listen, you have to congratulate Man City at the end. After 38 games, they had 2 points more than us, and they are the winners.
Yeah, it's true.
Do you have any regrets?
This is a 4-minute long interview, so I'm not going to play the whole entire interview. You guys can go check it out yourself. It's all over social media. But Mikel Arteta spoke about the pain of losing the Premier League. He spoke about everything else. And he also did have another award ceremony where he recently spoke about wanting to win, because I'm pretty sure in that competition, they asked him, "What do you think about what happened this past season?" And then he mentioned everything that was going on. It was quite long interview. This interview, 4 minutes long. I'm not going to play the whole excerpt, but yeah, I just wanted to play that quickly to just get a little bit of an idea of what was circulating the rounds, because people are really triggered by Mikel Arteta calling himself a winner. Guys, we got a winner on our hands. It's a matter of time on when he delivers. That's it. What do you got to say on Arteta? I don't know your stance on it. I haven't heard you say it in a while.
For me, it's pretty simple with Arteta, man. I think he's earned his the next season. I think he's earned it. Based on him improving us, he's progressed us from last season to this season that's just gone by. And I think he deserves next season. If next season he doesn't win any trophies, then definitely a conversation needs to be had, just about why are we not winning the trophies? Do we need to explore another option in the management position? But at the moment, I think to say Arteta out right now is not really making any sense, because he's progressed us and he's got us literally within touching distance of it. And it's not even like we faltered at the end, is it? We're literally going strong. We won 16 out of 18 of our last games, and that in itself is like Premier League winning form. So
Crazy.
it for me, he's so close, and I think next season we're just gonna go crazy, man, and we're gonna go and win that title. So I just feel like he deserves next season to get some more players, improve on it, and you know what I mean, go and improve and get that Premier League title, man.
Inshallah. Now, moving on to the next thing. 22 players. Arsenal are doing a major clear out. When I say major, bro, Saad, it happens annually, but this is a lot of names that we are familiar with exiting the club. First of all, you have Kalo Taylor-Hart, you have Cedric. I'm not too familiar with some of these guys. Look at that. Arthur Nkonkwo, Vivian Miedemar, leaving even from the women's team. You got Tyrese Jones-Jules, familiar name right there. As you can see, Elneny, and also this guy right here, this academy kid, he was highly touted, but unfortunately he's leaving also. Yeah. So this is a very, very long list of players. As you can see, this is no joke. A lot of players are leaving the club, a major overhaul. This just goes to show you that the club is not only looking to overhaul the first team, the academy, but even the women's team. There's just major overhauls happening at Arsenal. 22 players leaving. And with this 22 player list of the players leaving, surprisingly, no Roy Walters. They might actually be trying to give him a new contract. You also have some other players, some other academy players who were not on the list. It looks like Arsenal might be still trying to give some of these other guys new contracts, but this one here, yeah, I was a little bit surprised that I seen some memorable names.
Yeah, you know what, Igal? The thing is, yeah, I heard whispers and murmurs and rumors about this possibly happening, because we heard that they were going to do a complete overhaul of the youth setup. They wanted to spend a large amount of capital and put a large amount of funds into the youth setup, because they want to create a somewhat like a Manchester City type thing, where you know how Manchester City have these youngsters that are like literally bought in and like loaned out to different clubs, and then they make their money off of the youngsters. I think that's the kind of setup that they want to do, which, listen, I'm fully in agreement with that. If they can get that done and get that kind of system done as Manchester do it, Man City do it, because they make a lot of money. One name on there is Tyrese Jones-Jules, man. You know, I really had high hopes for him. I really thought he was going to make it into the first team, make it into regular play time, and you know what I mean, follow a same route or a similar route to like Bukayo Saka, Emile Smith Rowe, and these kind of guys. But unfortunately, it looks like he's leaving and going on to pastures new. But listen, it looks like we're doing a large overhaul on all of these players, and at the moment I really hope we can keep Roy Walters. I've rated him for a minute. Also,
their contract isn't expiring until the 30th of June, so we
Yeah.
still got time for these three. But man,
Dubry, he's one that I think we should definitely offer a new contract to, because everybody that I hear that is within the youth like set up and
This is the Arsenal
watches
website,
it,
bro.
yeah, I know, but the only thing I'm saying with Dubry is the reason why we should definitely offer him a new contract is because he is literally named like the next Saka. Like him and Saka are exactly the same in the way that they play, and then
He even
the
plays
way that
with
they,
number 7.
yeah, they're exactly the same player. So do you know what I mean? So that could be another player on Saka's style. Do you know what I mean? And he's also got a bit of flair about him as well, which at times Saka has shown that he hasn't got that much flair at times. He's got so much flair, bro. So I really like him as a player, man.
Elneny also departs the club after 8 years of his life. I don't think we're going to spend too much time on this, but Elneny is a guy that, let's be honest, I like Elneny. It's just as a player, he's not of the quality where he's going to raise our levels. So of course, unfortunately, we have to move on. But he's a nice guy. Like, he's a nice guy. We can't have mascots at the club forever. Unfortunately, this guy was basically the mascot for the last couple of years. He wasn't really playing much due to injuries and just due to the fact he's not of the level. But yeah, wish him all the best. 8 years at the club. That's longest serving player. Now, guess who's our longest serving player?
What right now? Who's our
Yeah.
longest serving player?
Yeah.
Or is it Bukayo Saka or something crazy like
No,
that?
it's Nelson.
Oh my god, bro. How is Reece Nelson the longest serving? Because he was there from like 2016, 2017 times, bro.
Yeah. So Reece
I
is
like
our
Reece.
longest serving player at this moment in time. It's
I like
crazy. And
Reece.
also, Cedric's gone. I'm not really going to show a picture of Cedric. I don't think there's anybody here who's going to be like,
No. We don't need.
miss
Wallahi, we
Cedric.
don't need to see this guy.
Yeah.
We don't need to see
You know
that guy.
what? One good thing is, though, Saliba is going to be joining the French national team, but the report is he will not be joining the Olympic team. So that is a
Great.
positive. That is a big positive that Saliba will not be part of the Olympic team, because I was worried that that Henry was going to try to select him, but Arsenal blocked the move, and I think that was the good move because we need our players back for preseason, especially if we're trying to do what we're trying to do this season. So yeah, good move there. Really happy about that, and yeah, we're going to look a little bit into the internationals in a second. But yeah, do you have anything to say on that? Good move, right?
Yeah, listen, if he would have gone to the Olympics, man, he would have missed the first few games of the season. And I'm not even trying to have him miss any games of the season next season. I want him to be playing every single game. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, I'm happy with that, man. I'm happy to hear that.
Zinchenko is going to be traveling with Ukraine. Ramsdale, Declan Rice, Bukayo Saka with England, Raya with the provisional team with Spain, Kieran Tierney with Scotland, Odegaard will be playing a friendly for Norway, Karl Hein, he's no longer even on our books, but he's been called up for Denmark to play against Switzerland as a backup. Thomas Partey actually went to Ghana to go play for Ghana once again, and Tomiyasu went to do what he's doing, and Gabriel Magalhaes and Gabriel Martinelli have both been called for the Brazil Copa America. So that is what's going on with the Arsenal team, and they're just showing you some updates on that. But yeah, let's get into some of the Arsenal news, because there's a lot of news to get into. We got 77 people who've joined us right now. Make sure you do hit that like button, and what do you call it? Saad's channel link is in the description, and it will be headed over to his channel after this. But before we go any further, bro, you know where I'm going to begin? I'm going to begin with something a little left, something out of pocket, in the sense that you probably didn't even know about this until I brought it up right now. Did you know that Arsenal are linked to Raphinha again?
I heard people speaking about it, but bro, the thing is with Raphinha, yeah, for me, this guy has been way too overhyped in my opinion, man. And for me, he just hasn't shown enough. Do you know what I mean? He hasn't shown enough for me, like to be worth what they're probably going to be talking. Like they're going to probably want like what 40, 50 million for him. They're not going to let him go for cheap. So what is the point? Exactly 40 million. So it's bro, is he really worth it? I don't know. Is he going to be willing to be a backup to Bukayo Saka? Does he get in front of Saka? I don't think so. So it's a very interesting one.
Well, why do we think like this when you have the best teams in the world? They just go and get Mbappe, even though they have an amazing attack.
What do you mean?
We shouldn't really think like, do we need him? It's more, is this the profile that we need?
Well, the thing is, we need somebody who can handle playing at the top level. And for me, Raphinha just isn't consistent enough.
Didn't he win a league title his first year?
This isn't consistent enough. Yeah, but I just want to go back and see how impactful he was in that.
I'm not gonna lie, I'll keep it 100. I don't watch Barcelona like that, so I can't give you a balanced opinion on how good Raphinha is. But to the people who watch Raphinha, let me know. Do you think this is a move that could make sense for Arsenal? Because 34 million is really cheap for a Premier League proven winger. For somebody who could be cover, somebody who could be rotation, somebody who could play across the line. Could Raphinha, for this price, potentially be a good deal for Arsenal? I'm just thinking, forget about what he wants, what we need, Thad. Would he be the guy for that position? Potentially down. If we end up signing Raphinha at the end of the season as backup or cover for Bukayo Saka, I'm laughing to the bank. I don't know about you. 34 million sounds amazing. For God's sakes, they're talking about Somerville for 60. I've seen some crazy valuations for Somerville.
Yeah, listen, the thing is with Raphinha, yeah. Is he gonna want to be a backup? I don't think so. And the thing is, it's important to, like, I know you're saying like it's what we want, it's not what he wants, yeah, but he's still gonna be playing
them on the project.
You know what I mean? So
you never tell a player they're going to
he needs to be able to understand that minutes are not going to be like he's not going to be playing over Saka in like important games. That's what he needs to understand. And for certain players, especially for Raphinha, who's been playing at Barcelona, and thinking he's hot shit, bro. He's going to be like, no, I want to be starting. I think I'm better than Saka. So, do you know what I mean? I think that's the problem that we could come across. But I think from the price range, listen, if you want to take a risk, that's fine. We can go ahead with it.
With competition, am I wrong?
Well, that's what we need at the moment. We need some sort of competition. It's just whether he's gonna wanna be that competition and willing to try and take that spot off of Saka. That's the point. Do you know what I mean?
No, I get your point. Let's go on to the next topic. The next topic we're gonna actually discuss is none other than Douglas Luiz. Bro, I keep hearing Douglas Luiz conversations, and the conversations I think are coming from Aston Villa might want to sell him. So I've seen this report here, and Arsenal are strongly interested in Douglas Luiz, whose contract ends in 2026. Aston Villa is stalling, and Aston Villa need to sell an important comp for somebody. The Aston Villa needs to sell a player, obviously, for profit and sustainability rules. He's currently valued at 50 million euros. I don't think he's at the top of Arsenal's list, and personally for me, he's more of an add-on. He's not your marquee summer signing in the midfield for me. If Arsenal are going to spend cheap if Arsenal are not going to spend big in the striker market, then I want us to go big in the midfield. And Douglas Luiz does not scream marquee midfield signing to me. He's more of like a panic buy at the end of the window or cover. What do you think?
Listen, I rate Douglas Luiz. I would 100% take him. If we're getting another midfielder next to him, do you know what I mean? I would 100% take him. I think he can do that obviously that number 6 role. We've seen him do it at Aston Villa, playing deep, and I think he can do that brilliantly. He can also give you goals. He's also very good at it with his passing. Do you know what I mean? So I would 100% take him. I think he's a brilliant player, and I think he's ready to move on to that next level up. Do you know what I mean? It's going to be interesting to see if he stays with Aston Villa, because obviously they're trying to get a contract renewal done, but it's kind of stalling at the moment, because obviously he's trying to assess his options and see if anybody wants to come in for him, like a bigger club. So I listen, I see a lot of potential in this guy, man. I think he can do well, and me personally, I would go and sign him. I think the fee is like 45 million. What was the fee again? Sorry, was it 45, 50 million?
50 million.
50 million. I'd sign him for 50 million. Obviously it will be paid over installments, but I'd sign him 50 million. I would take a punt on that, and it's a 50 million euros. So
would you sign him over the other potential midfielders we could sign? Like, let me show you a list. If I show you a list of potential midfielders Arsenal could sign, personally, he's not at the top of my list.
He's not at the top of mine either. He's not at the top of mine.
He's not at the top of my list. Honestly, is he even on the list at this point?
That's another. He's on my list, but he's a player that if I don't get a Bruno, or I don't get a De Jong, then he's a good option to have. Do you know what I mean? He's a good option to have come in instead. Which I don't mind him coming in. If we can't get those guys, because either they're out of the valuation, or they've chosen to go to other clubs, or they want to stay at their current club. In regards to De Jong, because he wants to stay at Barcelona, so to try and get his money. But yeah, I wouldn't mind Luiz.
Rather him or an Onana, a Frankie De Jong, a Bruno G. What is your number one guy?
I think we have to get two midfielders. My number one pick for the two midfielders would be Bruno G, and would be Youssouf Fofana. Those are my two midfielders that I would go with to bring in this summer.
I think that's an amazing segue. Amazing segue, because I was going to talk about Youssouf Fofana, and Youssouf Fofana seems to be a very affordable deal, actually. When you for everything that I'm hearing, Youssouf Fofana could go for as cheap as, I heard, 20 million, if I'm not mistaken. It doesn't seem like he has a release clause or anything like that, but Manchester United currently are seriously interested in him. I've heard Arsenal interested in him. People are saying, bring me Youssouf Fofana, Manchester United fans, for 25 million. This is a guy who's 25 years old, very highly touted. And I think yesterday, here's the article I can show you right now. There's reports coming out that Arsenal are looking at Monaco's Youssouf Fofana, who's kept tabs on him over the last 2 years. Arsenal's main focus in the midfield is to bring in a central midfielder, and Monaco's open to the sale. The CEO has admitted that they're open to selling him. So this could be another major deal that we could potentially get over the line. I would love this. So I agree with you on that.
I can't lie. Listen, Gal, I really like this player. I think for me, looking at Youssouf Fofana, looking at his like player profile, he's literally a younger Thomas Partey. Man. He does everything that Thomas Partey does, just
without the injuries.
And without the injuries. Yeah. So listen, for me, I'm 100% taking this guy on, man. I think he's got a lot of potential, bags of it, and I think he can do really well for us. I would love to bring him in. I think he's a bargain. I think we've been following him for ages. I don't know if you remember, at the start of the season in the Emirates Cup, he's the one that scored against us in the Emirates Cup. Do you know what I mean? So he can get a goal. He's able to do the 6 role like Thomas Partey does.
That was the Youssouf trial. I remember people were calling it. This is his opportunity to show us what he's made of.
Listen, I'd take him, man. I think he's an amazing young player. Obviously you need to get one big name in the midfield, hence why we did the Bruno G. But you also have to get one big name, but you have to get one player that's a bit on the younger side, just to come in. That's still got enough quality to play at the top level, which I think Youssouf Fofana has enough quality to play at the top level, in my personal opinion.
Do me a favor, guys. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. I don't think we're bringing in Timber's twin brother just to confuse people. Come on, let's be serious, people. We got 103 of you guys in the chat right now. Please do hit that like button. subscribe if you haven't already done so, and it helps out the channel massively. The next point, bro, Arsenal are looking to sell some players. Arsenal are looking to sell some players. And when I say they're looking to sell some players, they're looking for a major clear out. A major clear out. You have the likes of Emile Smith Rowe, Eddie Nketiah, Aaron Ramsdale, and Kieran. What?
Big up, man. Eddie Nketiah out of here, mate. Let's go, man.
We're going to talk about Eddie in a second, but before we get to that, this is a major clear out. This is several players that we're trying to get off the books. Kieran Tierney, Aaron Ramsdale, Eddie Nketiah. Kieran Tierney, there's no update on where he could potentially go, but there is an update on where we could potentially end up sending the likes of Eddie Nketiah and everything else. And before I do that, I just want to show you, Aaron Ramsdale literally has 3 clubs currently after him. Aaron Ramsdale has 3 clubs currently after him. Those three clubs that are currently after Aaron Ramsdale are none other than AC Milan, Newcastle, and Chelsea. So Aaron Ramsdale could find himself at the end of the year looking at those 3 clubs as his potential home and destination. That is insane to think a guy who did not play a single minute for Arsenal this past season potentially could end up at any of those 3 clubs. AC Milan coming in for him in case Man City, of course, sign Mike Mignon over Ederson once Ederson leaves, because apparently Ederson could be sold from Man City, I was hearing. So that is another possibility. Talk to me, bro. Where do you think he might end up? What do you think? And how much would you want for him?
Where do I think he'll end up? I think realistic option for him would probably be Newcastle, just because of Nick Pope's injury record and how many times he gets injured for them. I think they're starting to evaluate that and look at somebody different. Do you know what I mean? Dubravka's getting older. They need somebody younger to come in and take the reins, be their number one. He needs to be playing number one football. He needs to be playing first team football because he's trying to be England's number one, and you can't do that from the bench. So he needs to be able to get that done. And I think he will go to Newcastle. I think it's gonna start to progress a lot quicker once the window's actually open. I think Newcastle are gonna try to get that over the line, especially with AC Milan and Chelsea sniffing around. They're gonna want to get that business done quick. So I think he's gonna go to Newcastle. The fee, on the other hand, I think the fee we're gonna probably see maybe around 30 million, 35. I would have liked to go high, you know what I mean, make a profit on this guy, bro. Sell him for 40-50 million, but I don't think we'll get it just because he hasn't played very much last year or last season. So I think that lowers down the price because he hasn't played. They know that we don't use him necessarily much, so he's fully been frozen out. So yeah, it's an interesting one, to be honest. It's an interesting one, but yeah, I think Newcastle's...
Somebody in the chat said they don't get you celebrating Eddie Nketiah leaving. He's not at the level to win us the league, but I wish him the best. He will he will do well at a mid-table club. I don't think you're dissing Eddie Nketiah. You're just saying you're happy that we can finally get a fee for.
I'm happy that he's leaving for a fee. He's given us. Are you
celebrating him leaving?
No, I'm happy that we're gonna get rid of him for somebody that's better. Do you know what I mean? Eddie Nketiah for a while now has been tricking his club into keeping him because he scores a hat-trick here and there. Every time this guy is on the line, he always scores a hat-trick against a lower down team. Yeah, I understand he had Chelsea. I understand he had that whole thing with Chelsea. He had that whole thing against Manchester United. That's all great. But this guy is not consistent enough to play at the top level. Yeah? Go ahead and go to a lower club.
No,
go to
maybe not the top level, but just not Arsenal.
Or we're at the top level. Do you know what I mean?
I mean, there's Crystal Palace are at the top level, no?
No. When I say top level, I mean Champions League and league titles, fighting for that stuff. That's the top level for me.
I meant Premier League is in the top flight. My bad.
Okay, yeah. No. He's playing top flight football. I think he can handle top flight football. If he goes to Crystal Palace or something, or a I think he's also linked to to go to Fulham. He's also linked to go to Palace.
These are the clubs that are interested in him.
Wolves.
You got Fulham, if I'm not mistaken, it's Brentford. You have Wolves, Crystal Palace, and Ipswich.
Yeah, Ipswich would be funny, man, if
So-
he went there. Because
So
I think
with
he'd
this
actually
being
cook.
said, they're saying 30 million, bro. So my question to you is, do you take the 30 million or do you try to wait for a bidding war?
Brother, I'm taking anything at this point. I'm taking anything. 30 million is nuts. I don't even think we get 10, 15 for this guy. I'll be real. So getting 30 million for him is actually crazy. So I'm taking whatever. If somebody wants to come in and outbid them, then cool. But I'm taking that 30 million, man. I can't lie. It's
My
much more
thing
than I
is,
thought.
if we can get an extra 15 million off of waiting later in the transfer window, is it worth it? Or would you just take the money right now and run?
If they're offering us 30 million, I'm taking that. I
What if,
can't
what
lie.
if the club waits until later in the transfer window, maybe we can get 35, 40. Is it worth the wait?
I've seen this story play out way too many times where we wait for a club to come in and increase their bids, and all of a sudden they lose interest. They go find somebody else, and then we're still stuck with this guy. I can't lie. Right now, we need to get rid of him ASAP. Apparently, the club don't even want to get rid of him. They're reluctant to get rid of him. They don't even want to get rid of him.
Seen that. This is where I was gonna go to that article now. So the article is saying Arsenal are reluctant to sell Eddie Nketiah to the club this summer. The Sun revealed that Fulham are in pole position and would be willing to pay 30 million. But they're likely to see competition from Crystal Palace and Wolves. The main thing is Everton also offered a loan deal with an option, which Arsenal could appeal Arsenal also, but they hope that would be stupid, because imagine if we loan him and then he does shit and then they don't want to buy him. It'd be better to sell him than send him on loan.
I can't lie.
Am I reading this correctly? An option that which would be appealing to Arsenal, but they're saying we're reluctant to sell. This has to be a wind up.
No. With an option that's appealing, that which could appeal to Arsenal, could mean an option to buy. It's probably not even going to be an option. It's going to be an obligation to buy. So they're going to have to buy him. Do you know what I mean? So that's probably what it's going to be.
But this is the part. This is the part that I'm looking at. They could start a bidding war to drive the price up for him to a decent level. If we can somehow get more than 35 million for Eddie Nketiah, that is amazing. Because don't forget, his wages are expensive too.
He's on 100 bags.
Yeah,
that's crazy. But the thing is,
people are saying the Sun is not reliable.
That's what I was just about to say.
Forget about the Sun. It's the people who work there that have the connections that are constantly making these articles, and they're getting the articles correct. When you're constantly getting stuff right, don't forget, the Sun is the one that first reported Ben White to Arsenal. The Sun was the first one that reported Aaron Ramsdale to Arsenal. The Sun is the first person who tends to get the local London news spot on.
You know what? Yeah, I can't lie, bro. Listen, the Sun absolutely stinks. Do you know what I mean?
Forget about the newspaper, the organization.
No. But the thing is, everybody that works for it, normally they are a bit dodgy, man. But anyway, that's by the by. Well, right now, let's take it as what it is, which is a rumor. It's news that has come out. Do you know what I mean? Of face value, I'm happy with the news that we are trying to get some, people are interested in him. I'm happy with that, because I don't think that Nketiah is necessarily at the level to be playing at a top club, even as a backup. I don't think he's got that kind of the minerals inside him to hold that position as a backup striker and come in when we need him to score goals and score goals for us.
Guess what? Joe Willock. He might not be Arsenal level, but at Newcastle, he broke a record.
Kills it.
Broke a record, right? Let me give you another example. Who's that guy that we sent on loan this year that was killing it, bro? Who was that guy?
Sent on loan to where, sorry?
We sent somebody on loan this season that was doing well. I forget who it is. But yeah.
Charlie Patino?
No, Lokonga. Lokonga.
Yeah, that
We
stinks.
sent him on loan. He was killing it at Luton. So I'm just saying, you send Eddie Nketiah somewhere where he's starting and he's getting nurtured and you're giving him consistent starts in the season. I guarantee you he can get 15 plus goals if you give him 38 game league starts. I don't debate that. I don't think that's a debate for me. I think if you start him 38 games in the Premier League and you're a lower down the table team and you're giving him penalties, he's getting you 15 plus goals easy.
Listen, I don't doubt that he can get 15 goals for like a mid-table team if he's the main guy. Crystal Palace, I don't think he'll be the main guy if he goes
No,
there.
Mateta's there.
Mateta's going to
If
be
he
the
goes
main
to
guy.
Wolves,
If he goes to Wolves, he could be because
he's the main guy.
Cunha is he's not the best of finishers. He isn't as clinical as they'd want him to be. Same thing with Munez. Munez, I think is how you say his name. He only came up last season towards the back end and started having good performances. But listen, I think Nketiah just needs to move on, man. I think his time's done at
This
Arsenal.
is the weirdest link up I ever seen in my life.
I big up Ethan, man.
What was he? How is he linking up with all these guys? By
the way, he's got a big future next season. I don't know if you've heard that he's been integrated into the first team. Yeah,
big
so
time.
he's got a big future going into next season. I'm looking forward.
And friend of the show, Kevin Campbell. Hope he's doing well, guys. Wish him the best. I heard he was in the ICU due to kidney failure. Hopefully, he can get through it, man. Hopefully,
we got Kevin, man.
Big up Kevin. Had him on the show a couple times, also, man. He's a really nice guy. This one here. Let's talk about this also. Emile Smith Rowe, Fulham, £30 million. You taking that? Same way you're taking
I'm against selling this guy.
Really? Completely.
If I have to, the only reason why I would sell him is because Mikel Arteta doesn't want to play him. He keeps on doing these mind games saying I love the player and this and that. I think that's complete bullshit. Listen, if you love the player, he'd be playing much more consistently. I think he's good enough to get into the team and play more minutes. He's definitely good enough to be playing more minutes. And the fact that he isn't is a bit of a mad one. Do you know what I mean? I really rate Emile Smith Rowe. I think he's had an unlucky time with his groin injury. That's been with him for like the last 2 years. He's had this groin injury and it's been bugging him until he finally got the surgery to fix it. And now he's got himself in a position where he's just being left out. Do you know what I mean?
You got people saying he's trash, bro.
He's
people
not
in
trash.
The chat, let me know. Do you keep Emile Smith Rowe or do you sell him? Personally, for me, due to his injury record and the fact that we could get some decent fee in return, I would definitely sell Emile Smith Rowe at this moment in time. But and also, I just don't see him working his way back into the team. I think Mikel Arteta needs a different profile of player, and Emile Smith Rowe's fitness has always been an issue. So sell him. Get some good returns, and let's see what we can do from there. Quickly, we got some other stuff. I don't know if you guys heard, but Fabrizio Romano has given us an update on David Raya. We already knew this, but he just solidified it and confirmed it once more. I think he's said this like 7 times already. How many times have you seen this tweet? Arsenal are expected to proceed with formal activation of the 27 million buy-on clause for David Raya in the next days. No changes. The plan's confirmed since day 1. He's staying and he's going to be Arsenal's goalkeeper.
This just makes me think that Fabrizio Romano is definitely given some of this stuff by the clubs. This makes me think that the clubs give him some of this stuff and say, push it out for us. Because why are you telling us this like 1,000 times, bro? That it's done. You already told us that it's gonna be done, and we're gonna go ahead and buy him at the end of the season. So there's no need to re-say it, bro. Do you know what I mean? It's done. We're gonna buy him, man.
Bro, if Fabrizio Romano was around back when what do you call it, when we signed friggin' Sol Campbell, it would have got reversed before it ever happened. Tottenham people would have tried to stop him. It would have never happened, you know. These rumors. Go ahead.
Yeah, no. The thing is, with Fabrizio Romano, man. Listen, he's just that guy, bro. He's the guy of the transfers. Do you know what I mean? So anything he says is gold, bro. Is if he has his stamp of approval, apart from obviously the Mudryk situation, which got a bit shaky, and you know what I mean, he got that one wrong. But apart from that, everything else is correct, man. Everything else is correct. Do you know what I mean?
Reportedly, inside the cannon, who's AFC Bell, 2 hours ago,
FC Bill.
the new AFC Bell account, yes, has said that in recent updates, it has been it has relied to us, two sources directly direct knowledge of the situation said Arsenal are preparing a formal bid for Benjamin Sesko. The club is working hard to complete the deal before Euro 2024. Chelsea is closely monitoring the situation. Interesting. So a formal bid is coming in for him. We've been hearing about 45 million. We heard he has a 65 million pound release clause. I definitely think Arsenal is going to test the waters under the valuation of the release clause.
Yeah, that's something that we've been doing as a club recently, in the last few years. It's something that we've constantly been doing, which we would go in, but we're not going at the right price. We're going at our first price. You know what I mean? Trying to see if we can get the price lowered a bit. We don't want to pay the release clause. For me, listen, I already said it before and I'll say it again. Sesko is an underwhelming signing just because I thought for the striker we'd go for somebody that's proven, somebody that's, you know what I mean, willing to come in straight away and has the numbers, has the numbers and the experience playing in England.
Who would you go for?
First option is Isaac. Obviously, he's being
Newcastle don't want to sell.
Yeah, he's been touted to be 200 million. My second option would be Victor Gyökeres or Gyökeres.
You would rather buy Gyökeres
than Sesko? Yeah, 100%.
Really?
Yeah. The numbers speak volumes. But
you do realize Gyökeres is almost double the price. He's like 80 mil or something like that.
Yeah, but I think he's fire, man. I think Gyökeres is ready to step up to the top level. He's also got experience in England as well, playing for Coventry with his stint in Coventry in the Championship. So he's played in England, knows how to play in England, bro. He knows the physicality of the league, knows how physically demanding it's going to be. So I think that's worth its weight in gold. Do you know what I'm saying?
Is Gyökeres 2-footed?
I think so.
Is Victor Gyökeres pacey?
Victor Gyökeres has got a bit of pace, yeah. I think Sesko's got more pace than him. Sesko's more faster than him, but I think what Gyökeres has.
He doesn't have the height. He's only 6'2".
Oh, I think it's only like 2 inches off, isn't it? Nah,
the man's 6'5".
Yeah, it's 3 inches, right? He's still tall, bro. 6'2" is still tall, bro. It's not. It's the thing is, when people hear Gyökeres, people automatically think of Darwin Núñez, and it's nowhere near that. Núñez was more of a left-sided player coming off of the left and scoring goals, but Gyökeres is a central player and operates in that central area. Do you know what I mean? Which is completely different.
So if we were to compare Sesko's goals to Gyökeres obviously has more goals. He's scored a lot more goals. He's contributed to a lot more goals. But what about the defensive side of the game? Have you thought about that? Because our forwards do a lot of work defensively.
But from what I hear from these scouting reports that people are doing on him, he's not bad at getting back and tracking back and being able to run off the last man. Do you know what I mean? That's the only thing for me.
I honestly think because of the price, this is the situation where the club is looking at Victor Gyökeres and they're saying to themselves, this is a really good opportunity for us to get a young player with a high ceiling who is has one of the better conversion rates in in European football. His first season in the top 5 league. Look at how many non-penalty goals he scored. Look at how many goals he scored inside, outside the box, right foot, left foot, conversion rate, defensive ability. Also, with his ability to put in a shift on the defensive side. If I'm not mistaken, I'm not going to look at his tackles or interceptions or anything like that, but I'm just talking about like his ability to win duels, his ability to get back, and to drop deep. But right now, if I was to look at Victor Gyökeres, his season for what do you call it? Sporting. Let me just check. So
he's got a lot of goals and assists.
It's not coming up. It's not coming up. For some reason, they don't have the stats for him in. I'm trying to compare his stats, but yeah, if I show you, I got Squawker up here, and I'm trying to compare his stats, but I can't actually. It's not actually.
So
coming up.
I can give you his goals and assists in all competitions if you want.
Okay, what's his goals? He has 20-something plus goals, right?
So his goals. Do you want just in the league, or do you want?
What I needed was the conversion rate and like that kind of stuff. You know what I mean? Let me show you this though. Isaac. Let me compare him to Isaac. Right? Let me compare him to Isaac. Where is it? Did I pass him? No. You know what? We're gonna compare him to Victor Osimhen because that's who we're linked for, right?
Okay.
Is it yeah, there it is. So let's compare him to Victor Osimhen instead. If you actually look at the stats, Victor Osimhen is a much more proven player, right? He has more goals this season, but he has less non-penalty goals. He doesn't have he has more goals inside the box. Victor Gyökeres has one screamer outside the box. All of Victor Osimhen's goals are right-footed. All of them. Not one left-footed goal. As you can see, Benjamin Sesko has the ability to score with both his feet. He doesn't score all his goals with one foot. This shows that Victor Osimhen is heavily reliant on one foot. His conversion rate is literally half better, as you can see there, and he attempts a lot more passes. But of course, that can be skewed based on the team. One thing he has is a better shot accuracy. But if you're not converting it, it doesn't mean anything, right? But yeah, that's
the thing is with Osimhen though. Osimhen is a player which for me,
continue.
You know, actually, with Gyökeres, you might have to type in Victor.
Look at this. Victor. Isaac has scored 19 goals with his right foot, only one with his left.
But Isaac is if they were willing to sell him, I'd take him over both of them.
Look at the conversion rate too. Very close.
For me, the conversion rate, I think Isaac is playing in a way harder league. You have to take that into account as well. But if you type in Victor on the player thing search, it should come up with him. If type in Victor G.
No, he does come up. It's just his stats are not there. As I showed you earlier, he comes up. His stats were just not there, bro. I literally tried it. It didn't come up. But yeah, unfortunately, we gotta move on to the next topic. And the next topic is Osimhen. Did you hear what happened today? Apparently, Victor Osimhen is waiting for Arsenal or Saudi Arabia to bid for him because Chelsea pulled out. Chelsea is no longer interested.
Yeah, listen, I wouldn't go for Victor Gyökeres. Victor Gyökeres. I wouldn't go for Victor Osimhen, in my personal opinion. I think he's way too injury prone. And can he handle it in the Premier League? I don't think so. Me personally, I don't think his performances have been that good, especially in the AFCON. I watched him. I don't think his performances were that good. He wasn't lighting it on fire. I don't think so. But for me, if I'm to go for a player, I don't think Osimhen is the one for me, man. I'm not looking to go.
They're not changing on the valuation. They want 130 million euros. Mental. What do you
Bro,
say?
that is nuts. 130. These guys just want their money right now. They want their money so they can go sign Lukaku. They want their money so they can go make their signings for the summer. They don't want to spend any of their funds. They want us to give them the money. So that's basically what they want right now. And for me, I'm not gonna do that, man. I'm not gonna sit here and give them the money for a guy who's injury prone, who doesn't even like fully, like, you know what I mean? I don't think of him as a crazy player, or miles ahead of the other options that are on the that were available, if possible, for us to spend that kind of money. Is he miles ahead of Victor Gyökeres? I don't know. I don't think so. Do you know what I mean? So it's just one of them ones for me. I just listen. I think he's got an amazing leap, and that's something that people speak about. His leap is crazy. Like when he gets up into the air. But even then, Sesko, I think, has got a higher leap than him. So where do we go from there? Do you know what I mean? So it's I just think that one season of them winning the league has hyped this guy to oblivion, and
Where do you think the price comes into a factor? Because if Sesko's 45 million, that's a steal. It's just a steal. It's the best market value for a striker. He's 21 years old.
The thing is with Sesko, it could work or it couldn't. Do you know what I'm saying? So it's either you get. I don't think there's a middle ground. I think he's either going to be really shit or he's going to be really good. Do you know what I mean? It's a risk.
I don't think he needs to what do you call it? Be dependent on right away as the main man. We ease him into the position because of the ability that we have in goals. We have so many goal scorers. We don't have to do a Chelsea and just throw him in the deep end.
I think the only thing is what we said all last season that we're missing is someone that can change the game, a goal scorer, someone who can make a goal out of nothing. Can he do that? I don't know.
Bro, have you not seen his goals? Left foot, right foot, outside the box, going around the keeper, facing up, headers, aerial presence. The only thing he lacks at this moment in time is that Zlatan Ibrahimovic physicality.
There's a big difference, though, Egal. There's a big difference, though, Egal. You're playing in the Premier League, bro. You're playing in the Premier League, so you're playing against the Edersons and the Alissons. Can he do it against the Edersons and the Alissons? Can he do it against the Van Dijks and the Ruben Diaz and all of this? Because when he came up against Real Madrid, he was faltering, bro. He was missing shots. You know what I mean? It takes him a lot of shots to. He's not the most clinical striker. That's the only thing for me. I try to look at things like, listen, if we go and get him, I'm not going to be crazy negative about him, be like, oh, no, I didn't want this guy. Get him out. I'm not supporting him. I'm not going to do that. I did that with Havertz, funnily enough. And look what happened, bro. I had mud on my face. You know what I mean? So I'm not going to do that with Sesko because, listen, these guys have made me have trust in their signings, in their judgment. Do you know what I mean? But all I'm saying is, from what I see from Sesko, he is still raw. That's all I'm saying. Like, it's not a guarantee. Like, nothing's guaranteed with him, and that's just it for me.
And
do you know
can
what
we
I mean?
both agree on one thing? I would rather sign Isak also, but Isak's not for sale. Victor Osimhen costs too much money, and if you're giving me a choice between Sesko or Victor Gyökeres, I would rather take Sesko.
I'm taking Gyökeres. I can't lie, but that's just my opinion. I listen. I think he's such a great player, bro. I think he's ready for that next level, man.
And then I think that is pretty much it with that. There's one final thing. There's one new source that came out with a report. I don't think Arsenal is going to drop 80 mil on 80 or what do you call it, 50 million euros on another defender. Do you think we're going to drop that kind of money on another defender? Wait, somebody was asking me something in the chat. 1 second. This is from Comms. How much have you watched? Have you actually watched Benjamin Sesko? Bro, I'm not a scout. I'm not going to sit here and tell you I've watched 16 games of Benjamin Sesko. What I've watched was I watched him in the Champions League and I watched the occasional game here and there. Really and truly, I can't name all of them. What I can tell you is on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, I was watching many different scouting reports on the player, different scouting report videos showing me all his misses, showing me all his makes, showing me all his attempts throughout the whole calendar year. So I might not have watched every single game, but I've seen every single goal scoring opportunity, every single goal scoring miss, and every single chance that he created, in addition to some of the errors that he's made. And I don't think it's that outside of the realm of possibility that we do sign him. And if we do sign him, I think the profile of player is well suited to what we need. And the abilities and the quality that he has, dribbling, ability on the ball, off the ball, physicality, movement, I think is key. And his frame and the age that he's at, I can only see him getting better. I think come the end of the next season, we're talking about signing a ready-made player. In a year's time, Mikel Arteta could make him a ready-made player. But yeah, we got 5 minutes before we got to go, and you got your own video you got to go sort out. But quickly, this one right here. I don't think this is going to end up happening. I think this is like a Chelsea signing. We're just
listen, he's a good striker. He's a good striker. He's a good centre back, bro. He's actually a good centre back.
We're not desperate for centre backs.
The thing is, yeah, I think at the moment, because we're looking for that Saliba backup, that's why this is coming up. And at the moment, Sporting are willing to sell him for this price, which is 50 to 60 million. I think if we're able to get, if we're being smart with our business, and I think that's why we're going for Benjamin Sesko, because we're trying to go big in other areas, which doesn't make sense to me, because I think the main area we need to go for is the midfield and the striker position. Do you know what I mean?
I think you spend big in the midfield. You spend 45 million on Sesko, and then the remaining 40, 50 goes to a center back / left back.
Well, that could go on him. Do you know what I mean?
It could go on Hale from Ajax also.
Well, Hato is going to be like 30, but we're going to make sales as well. So we may spend more than 250 million. Depending.
I'm thinking we're spending 100 million on the midfield. I'm thinking we're spending another 100 million on the center back and striker combined. So that's 200, and that's 3 signings. Who's the fourth signing? What's the fourth signing for you? I say it's a forward, another forward.
I think it's the Saka replacement. Saka backup.
Yeah, so we agree. If we sign a defender, it's 1 defender, not 2. Because if we sign
it can be, but they're still looking for that.
We also need a goalkeeper. Shit. We also need a goalkeeper.
But I think with that one, they're looking at the Feyenoord guy, isn't it? Who's the guy from Feyenoord?
I haven't heard much about him. I've seen reports about a goalkeeper from Feyenoord, but I haven't really heard much about him. Is he any good? Does anybody know him?
What? Big up Rob. Rob put in the comments. Bigelow
is he any good? Do you know him?
The thing is, he's a good goalkeeper. He's a very decent goalkeeper, but he's famous for that video. Do you remember when the goalkeeper slides into the player and then gets the ball out, but then he throws the ball back onto the pitch when the player's trying to take the throw in quickly? That's that keeper. So he's rattling the player while the refs try to speak to him. So he's well versed in the shithousery. You know what I mean? So yeah,
bro, but this guy does not seem good. I literally I don't know, bro. As a backup, you need to be decent enough where I can trust you to come in and play. Is this guy good enough where we can trust him to play?
The thing is, the only problem with him is he's very injury prone, which for me is a bad sign. I always look at injuries first.
Imagine your backup goalkeeper comes in for Raya, who got injured, and then he gets injured. We're going to be left with an academy goalkeeper.
Carl Hein.
He's not even here anymore. He might get released.
They might get released. They might get released.
For fuck's sake, what are we gonna do, bro? Today was the main story was the overhaul, and I think we're priced out of a move for some of these players, man. There's no way we're getting Victor Osimhen. But yeah, you got to go do your video. Big up to everyone watching. Make sure you guys go check out Saad's channel right after this. You're going straight live right after this. I appreciate you jumping on for an hour, chatting up. It's nice to have you on the show, and big up everyone. I'll catch you guys later today. And yeah, we're out of here, people. Love for the love. And hopefully you guys like the video before we leave. Peace.